Welcome back to How Good Will They Be, a series where I take a team that is looking very interesting heading into the next NBA season, and I talk about how I think they're going to be doing next year. In this episode, we have the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat didn't really pop compared to other teams, but I still want to talk about them. They're still relatively interesting, so yeah. Obviously, the Miami Heat's major signing was Kyle Lowry. Now, this isn't really anything big, but this free agency overall wasn't a very good one in terms of excitingness. Like, all the best players re-signed. Like, it wasn't really good to begin with, but all the best players, Kawhi, Chris Paul, all those guys re-signed. And this is probably the best signing, maybe aside from the DeRozan one, the Lowry one. But yeah, it's pretty good. 3 years. I like this signing for the Heat. Now, the Heat obviously have a really good duo, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. And honestly, I really like this duo. I might have said this before on the channel, but this is probably, maybe other than like the Clippers duo, is the best two-way duo. Like, both these guys can go and give you 20, and then both of them can go and lock up your best player. That's what seems really good about that duo. And we've seen Butler carry this team to the finals before, and with Bam Adebayo just improving, looks pretty good. And they also have Tyler Hero, who is probably going to come off the bench, and I'll explain why later. But yeah. The Heat also signed PJ Tucker, and they have Victor Oladipo and Duncan Robinson as well. Duncan Robinson is on pace to set many records, three-point shooting records in his career. Maybe not like the most threes ever, but he's going to do pretty good in his career. Three-point shooting, he's already an elite three-point shooter. And Victor Oladipo, he's coming off a big injury. I don't even know if he'll play for the first little bit, but he'll still be good to this Heat team. In terms of who they lost, they didn't even do too bad. They lost Trevor Ariza, who was their starting power forward. Now they really lack a starting power forward. I'll get to that later. But even though Trevor Ariza wasn't too good in the first place, and then they also lost Goran Dragic and Precious Achiuwa in the Kyle Lowry sign-and trade. But that doesn't hurt them too much. Yes, it does loosen their depth and makes them not as a deep team. But they got Kyle Lowry in return, so that's fine. And they also lost guys like Kendrick Nunn and Nemanja Bjelica, small guys like that. Okay, so this is going to be their starting lineup, I think. It's going to be Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo. Kyle Lowry, he is a great facilitator, great shooter, great playmaker. Watched him a lot in Toronto. He was amazing. Duncan Robinson, I was going to put Tyler Hero in front of him, and I was all kind of like on the train of Tyler Hero should start. But I decided to put Duncan Robinson in front because he is going to just space the floor a little bit better, and they don't really need another shot creator on this team. So yeah, they have Jimmy Butler obviously, and then they have PJ Tucker, who I think will start because they don't really have a true power forward. And then they have Bam Adebayo, who's probably going to have a breakout year this year because this team, I don't know, just great for Bam. Like, it has a lot of spacing, and Bam Adebayo is going to get a lot of rebounds. He's going to put the points on the board, and he might even have a breakout year. This is a very well-rounded team. You have shooting in Lowry and Robinson. You have playmaking in Lowry and Butler. And you have just he's going to act like the heart and soul in PJ Tucker. And then you have Bam Adebayo, a center that anyone would want. So overall, this team is looking pretty good. It is a very short team, though. Like, Jimmy Butler, actually no, not Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, he's only 6'5", and Bam Adebayo is like a 6'9" center. He's actually not too tall. Taking a look at the Miami Heat's bench, I think Victor Oladipo will be the 6th man, Tyler Hero will be the 7th man, and the reason why I have Duncan Robinson starting instead of Tyler Hero is because I think their bench is going to need a shot creator more, and don't get me wrong, Victor Oladipo can be that, but they need someone where they can pass it to who can hit the three, and you can do that with Duncan Robinson, but I think Tyler Hero, because Victor Oladipo, there's no promises he'll be healthy, so even if he's out, you still have Tyler Hero, who will be creating his own shots as well as being a great three-point shooter. And now, in my Pistons video, I only put 7 guys because I didn't know who else could play. It could have been Trey Lyles, Frank Jackson, something like that. And some people in the comments were saying, oh, they're not running 7-man, even though I never said that they were. So I'm going to just clarify this for the Miami Heat. Their 8th, 9th, and 10th guy, I don't know who it can be. It can be KZ Okpala, it can be Udonis Haslem, or I don't know, who else did the Heat have? It can just be one of those guys. But yeah, they're a not very deep team. Before I go over how this team can do, I want to go over some of their problems. I haven't done this for any other team, but I just think the Miami Heat have some huge problems because everyone thinks the Miami Heat are like a clinch top 5 seed. But in my How Good Will the Raptors Be, I said that they can low-key be better than the Miami Heat. Now, the reason is because the Miami Heat have so many problems. Now, I also said in my top 10 teams to win the championship, I didn't put the Heat, and a lot of you were questioning that. Well, now I'm going to explain their problems. Okay, with all that explaining, you probably read them already. So, they don't have a true power forward. Their power forward, PJ Tucker, he is a true power forward. But, I mean, you don't want a 6'5" guy running your power forward. It really doesn't make any sense. Too many guards. They have Lowry, Robinson, Oladipo, Hero, anybody else you want to put in there. They just have way too many guards. They should get some more forwards. And lastly, they are not a deep team whatsoever. They only have 7 solid guys. And that if Oladipo stays healthy, which is likely he's not. So those are the 3 main problems. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about how I think they can do. So, like I said, they can be... I had them, like I said, a minute ago, that they can... It's debatable that they'll be better than the Raptors. I think they might, but with that being said, I had the Raptors being from, the 6 to the 8 seed. So, that means the Heat are going to be, a top 5 seed. But I think the Raptors, honestly, now are going to be a 7 or 8 seed. So I think the Miami Heat, I think Brooklyn, Philly, Milwaukee, Chicago, New York are going to be better than them. So I'll have the Miami Heat say 6th seed at best, or we'll say 5th seed at best. And then at worst, if they're all fully healthy, then they're the 7th seed. I don't think they'll make 7th seed. I don't think they'll make the play-in tournament. And if they do, they'll win the first game as the 7th seed or 8th seed, whatever. And yeah, in terms of playoffs, honestly, I don't see them getting out of the first round. Maybe in the second round if they're lucky. But yeah, first round is probably the likely scenario for the Miami Heat this year. But that's going to wrap up my video on the Miami Heat, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.